when people think about what luxury really means, they're usually thinking too small. I want a big back seat. I want a car with a comfortable ride. I want a 5-seater that'll blow the doors off a Lamborghini. Oh, and it has to get 3 times the MPG of a Prius. Or to sum all of that up, I want it all. But these people are thinking way too small. When I rub the genie's lamp, I'm gonna ask for an even bigger concept. I want a do-over. Imagine what your life would be like if you could go back in time and do it all over again, knowing everything you know now. That is the ultimate luxury. It's a time machine. The Lucid Air is a time machine. This is the Air. It comes from a company called Lucid. So it's not a new car. It's a new car from a new car company. A company that exists of experts from old companies like Jaguar Land Rover, Lotus, and Formula One. Oh, and one particular car company, Tesla.
Credit where it's due. Elon Musk has changed our world. But he has a habit of frustrating his engineers by hiring the best in the business and then disregarding anything he deems is conventional thinking, even when conventional is better. Peter Rawlinson was one of those frustrated engineers, a consummate car guy who served as the Model S's chief engineer before leaving Tesla and coming to Lucid. And so you might be fooled into thinking the Air is Model S 2.0, but you're thinking too small. Rawlinson isn't just the chief engineer of the Air, he's CEO and chief technology officer of Lucid Motors, which means it's not the car that's version 2.0, it's the whole company.
In that sense, this is a do-over for the team that created the Tesla Model S, the most significant car of the last, 10 decades. The team benefited from the knowledge gained in creating the Model S, but also the knowledge gained in setting up Tesla as a company. And then they benefited again from Tesla spending the last 10 years training customers to want an EV. But there's a big difference. Lucid set a very crystal clear goal, not just to make some sort of electric car, but to make the world's best luxury sedan.
Then again, what does luxury mean? Well, first and foremost, it means an interior full of rich materials, colors, and textures. In other words, not a Tesla. When it comes to four-wheeled luxury, there's already a benchmark. A three-pointed benchmark.
Merriam-Webster defines luxury as a condition of abundance or great ease and comfort. The automotive world's definition of luxury is much easier. It's just the Mercedes S-Class.
If you have to compromise on nothing, this is your ride. This interior is outrageously opulent, a cross between a Chinese bordello and an Art Deco casino. Its backseat is enormous, padded, comfortable. Whether around town or at supercar speeds on an autobahn, the S-Class moves without subjecting its passengers to the indignities of noise or vibration. It's not a sports car, but thanks to a combination of Swabian stubbornness and sheer engineering might, the S-Class is staggeringly capable on a twisty road. But above all,
S-Class always debuts new technology that ultimately wind up on every car in the rental car lot. The S-Class defines luxury because it does more things better than any other car. And it's been that way for decades, until the Tesla Model S. Wait. If you dropped an S-Class out of an airplane, it wouldn't accelerate towards the crust of the Earth as quickly as this thing leaves the line. The fact that this uses 1/4 the energy of the most efficient Mercedes-Benz S-Class, but can beat a Mercedes-Benz Formula One car in acceleration is the reason why electricity is the answer. Thank God. This acceleration is completely disorienting. It's why everyone thinks that this thing has no brakes. Of course the brakes work. This is the first car in the history of the world that accelerates harder than it brakes.
That tricks you into thinking the brakes are weak. They're not. Until about the third corner when they catch on fire, which makes it ironic that Tesla's given this thing a track mode and a drift mode.
So that you can then crash it. Because there is no way you are catching a skid without a whole steering wheel. I mean, not everything needs to be reinvented. I'm not going to pretend that the Tesla Model S is a true competitor to the Mercedes-Benz S-Class, at least not in any traditional measure like build quality. But out of the box, the Model S was good enough, and it keeps getting better. And the reason why this car is so significant to the automotive industry is that it's an aggregate of a million little thoughtful Silicon Valley touches that make living with a Tesla better than living with any other car, period.
Things like autopilot and a frunk and a genuinely intuitive and responsive infotainment system, one-pedal driving, and just not having to press a start button when there's no engine to start. To say nothing of Tesla's supercharger network. Remember, luxury is doing more things better.
What the Air does is take all of those delightful Silicon Valley touches and marry them to an engineering-first philosophy like you'd see at Mercedes-Benz or Lotus. And this isn't just a masterpiece of automotive styling. It's a triumph of automotive design because it manages to look handsome and elegant and futuristic, despite having two major things working against it. First, this big sedan has a coefficient of drag so low that it experiences 1/3 less aerodynamic drag than a Nissan Leaf. Secondly, it has a dash to axle so short that it really should look like a subcompact rental car. And it doesn't.
It's also not like Lucid sacrificed interior space for fashion. The Air is roughly the size of a Mercedes S-Class on the inside, but it's the size of an E-Class on the outside, and it has 3 times the cargo space of either.
And all of that packaging efficiency starts with the powertrain. I'm gonna reach down and whip it out.
That's not what I expected.
Yeah, that's pretty small.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to hold it in my hand. I have to hold it. Yeah.
I'd like that.
Oh, cut me. Cut me.
No, I've got the shaft.
Okay. Wow.
The Air uses 2 of those electric motors, each of which makes 670 horsepower.
It's almost 4 Miatas right there.
And that's not just the motor. That's the differential, transmission, and power control unit. Think that thing's not going to be the LS swap of the future?
You guys hear something? In a world when other car makers are talking about gaining 2% or 4% over each other, this produces nearly 3 times the specific power of anybody else's power unit, Tesla included.
But the powertrain is only one small example of the almost Lotus-like obsession with simplicity that permeates every part of the Air.
Yeah, you've permeated every part of this video. I'm sorry. Look, love you guys. Can I have my show back, please?
Yeah, fair enough.
Absolutely.
Okay,
Sorry
about that.
Thank you.
Having an electric powertrain allows for a rethink of a vehicle's packaging. And the Air accomplishes things that the traditional automakers just keep insisting is flat out not possible, even on their new from the ground up EVs. And that's because those are ground up cars from companies not capable of ground up thinking. Take, for example, the Air's enormous frunk. This exists because Lucid packaged everything around the perimeter, leaving all this space. Compare this to Mercedes' new from the ground up EV, the EQS, which has no frunk at all. It's got all the same stuff, but Mercedes just threw it in here, leaving no space. And by the way, the EQS's back seat is way smaller than this car's, even though the car is a foot longer. Where did all the space go? It is, by the way, the same story over at Porsche with the Taycan Turbo S. It has a frunk barely big enough for a toothbrush, and then you'd have to remove a limb to get into or out of the back seat. Though it must be said, the Taycan redeems itself where handling is concerned. Then again, this thing is epic. Oh my God, the grip, the power, and the balance. This is not a track car. It is a 5,200 pound luxury sedan, but its performance and chassis benchmark was the BMW E39 M5. And I'm here to say they nailed that target.
The Air isn't just a luxury car. It's one of the most well-sorted sports sedans on the planet. A perfectly calibrated driver's car of the highest order. Its chassis balance is heroic. A whiff of understeer on the way in, some rotation mid-corner, and then beautiful, artistic, power oversteer worthy of slow-motion video.
On a bumpy, twisty back road, which, let's be honest, is a much more appropriate test for a 5,200 pound luxury car, it's simultaneously involving and isolating. And yet the car is still interactive and fun to drive. The coolest thing about the way they tune the suspension is you never hear a clunk. You can hit anything. I'm not saying you can't bottom this suspension out, but when you do, there's no thuds or whacks or sounds. It's just really good. It's really fast.
To describe a 1,111 horsepower car as merely fast is like saying, my Bugatti Veyron is peppy. The Air's ability to gain speed ranks it among the quickest cars of all time, hypercars included. Throughout the vast history of the automobile, there's only ever been one other four-door that could possibly give the Air gas.
Yes, the Tesla Plaid is quicker, but it has 3 motors. This is only 2 motors, and a triple motor Lucid is coming, so the fight will start again. Like Tesla, this feels like the future. Unlike Tesla, which feels like the future as defined by some kid writing a video game, This feels like the future as defined by someone who understands the sports sedan. And we're sideways. Woo!
So, the Lucid is a Porsche Taycan in the corners, a Mercedes S-Class in comfort, a Lotus in its efficiency, and a Tesla in its tech. If the measure of a luxury car is doing more things better than other cars, how could the Lucid Air not be the new benchmark of luxury?
I guess the only real question is, can a sedan really be the benchmark of anything these days? The market has spoken, and what the people want is a truck or an SUV. And I hate to admit it, but there's at least one thing a truck can do that a sedan can't.
Right now, there are 2 new American automobile manufacturers vying to be the benchmark of modern luxury. Lucid chose the handling and performance route. Rivian went the other way, building a truck that redefines utility, because another luxury is the ability to haul more than just ass. Rivian's decision to make a pickup truck is inspired, because it means the R1T will compete directly with the vehicles that Americans buy more than any other.
These 2 companies will converge in the same boxing ring when their next models debut. The Rivian R1S and the Lucid Gravity will meet in the middle as SUVs.
For the moment, they remain opposites on the spectrum of luxury. But make no mistake, these 2 companies went back in time to fight the establishment in defining what luxury means. And guess what? They're winning.
All right, so you're going to keep the Ferrari framed out the entire time, right?
Yep.
Perfect.
Action.
I'm not some rich YouTuber asking you to like and subscribe. Hey, up, keep the Ferrari out. I'm an automotive journalist asking you to like and subscribe, and that's because that's how YouTube works. If you don't click those buttons, YouTube doesn't know that you like what you're seeing and won't show you any more of it. If you don't like what you're seeing, well, join the club. And by that, I mean the Hagerty Drivers Club, which gets you access to this award-winning magazine, as well as discounts on some pretty amazing stuff. And if you still don't like what you've seen, well, then leave a nasty comment, because that's how the internet works. I gotta clean that up.